So there's a lot of mode transport here. They have the tram just went by. They have the buses there. They have a lot of taxis. Yeah. And we have the walkway. The walkway is wide enough, you can see here, so that people can walk without bumping into each other. So that is what is needed to promote walking. So we have the tram on its dedicated lane, and we have a lot of buses on the road. So the tram with its own lane, it will not be disrupted or affected by the condition of the traffic. The same as you can see here, all the pathway where people who choose for walking or cycling can actually walk quite smooth. So it is said that this is the wall, as you can see on there, and over there it should originally be the castle wall across the street where Muhammad al-Fatih actually breached. And we just come from there just now, and over there you can see all this wall throughout, and it goes all the way there. So this is basically I think the original wall. Okay, this is a view from a bit of far. You can see the tram there that goes across the wall where the wall was cut for the road. Actually, it goes from there, the wall, from what you can see, I think it goes further than, and then it goes far on that side, also further there. So that's the magnitude of the wall. So there's a lot of small sized bars like that here. I think that's energy efficient. Panorama 1453 Museum. So this is the Panorama Museum of 1453. Basically we just came down here, and this first floor here is just the historical background in writings and poster before we go down to the next floor. So this is the second floor down. We have another illustration of the episodes leading towards the conquering of Istanbul. So this is the last page before the city walls of Constantinople. The painting illustrates Sultan Muhammad the Conqueror address his army. Mehmed II addressed everybody with his name in his speech and showed the place of assault, except from the speech of the conquest as follows. Dear Pashas, head of principalities and full of mine, I have gathered you here for two reasons. First, to tell you that the good results we are going to have today are owed to your character and bravery. Second, to remind you that the prize that you will have will bring you a fortune in addition to glory and honor, and that our understanding efforts will lead us to remarkable outcomes. Now I call on all of you to be brave as expected from you and your ancestor. And here is entrance of the panorama. Okay, so we are inside and it's quite noisy. A lot of people are here. And this is what it is. Actually, it's a dome. panoramic feel of everything, right? And also you have the things on the ground, like all of these things, right? So it does create a feel of the battlefield. You can see that things being thrown. We have the army there, and I think this is the bridge, is it? Where we have the wall, something like that. And then let's go on the other side. So yeah, we have a lot of things, and we have see the army there advancing, and then on the other side we have a battle going on. So a lot of things going on here. On that side we have something like the two tower, and I think a lot of school children are going down. Look at the detail of the painting. I mean, it does give like a 3D effect, right? You can see. This is truly a work of art, I would say. This is actually what we have experienced just now. We are at the middle, and we have all the artifacts, and we have the dome. That capture the whole experience. So yeah, this is basically the model. And this is some of the, I think, children's illustration or drawing. And this is an interesting one where they pull up the ship on the mountain, on the hills. Right, but we don't have this particular episode in the Panorama. Okay, this is an interesting illustration of how the people actually pull the ship up in the hill. Right now, this episode is interesting to me personally because, of course, we know the only name for the conquering of Costantinople is Muhammad al-Fatih. But if you can see this episode, right, there's a lot and lots of names that we do not know that contribute significantly for that victory, right? And the big question that most people do not ask is whether they can qualify to be part of that army. Yeah, because normally we pose the question as if it's a superhero coming down to save all of us, right? And we expect like the hero will do everything like in the movie, but that's not the case. So this is the masjid of Abu Ayub al-Ansari, as you can read there, Abu Ayub al-Ansari. And the maqam or the kubur of Abu Ayub al-Ansari is actually there. You can enter there, and inside there you can see the maqam. So the maqam or the tomb of Abu Ayub al-Ansari inside, and this I'm assuming this is one of the sultan, but I cannot understand what's written there. Maybe it's Usmania. It's one of the Usmania sultan. So there's a lot of kubur around here, but the most important one is the one that everyone come to visit, which is the kubur of the sahabah, Abu Ayub al-Ansari. And we can see that a lot of people making dua around it, trying to get barakah or something. So yeah. So we are at the side of the river. It is such a spectacular view, even though honestly I do not know which one is which. I mean, at the end there, I'm not sure what is that building, and this one I do not know what is that also. Also this one, also this big one, and on the other side there's also some that's one there, and also that's one there. So there's a lot of big historical buildings. The architecture is similar in my eyes, so I'm not sure which is which, but the view is spectacular. Obviously, it's awesome if you live here and you can enjoy this view every day, right? So anyone who can actually name all of these big historical, I think, building, please name it. This is the first one. Please name this one. What is this actually? This is the second one. Please give the name of this one if you know. And then this is the third one. Do give the name of this building here. And alright, this is which is alright. Oops, this is the fourth one, the big one there. I'm assuming many of you know what is this one. And then far from here, where is it? Alright, this is the one. How many is this? Is it the fifth one? This is the fifth one, right? Okay, name this one if you know. And then this is the sixth one. Name this one if you know. And then actually there's one more close by here, which is that one there on this side of the river. Name that one if you know. Alright, so we are still at the river banks, enjoying the scenery. Can you imagine every day you can have a look at this scenery? For example, you have, you know, you own the building there on top of there at that somewhat haunted house by that house, and just enjoy the scenery. Wouldn't that be great? So if you want to buy the wet food, the wet supply, there's a lot of them here. So people are commuting back from work to home, I guess. A lot of them commuting across the river by boat. So yeah. So there's a lot of people on the bridge fishing. So it is past midnight, and accidentally, throughout the day near the river, near the market where we have the fish, a Malaysian student actually come and greet me. So we have met, I think 2 years back in Frankfurt, and we exchanged contact, and tonight he asked to meet, and we have just met. And this is me after we have finished talking and discussing. I'm getting back to the home, and yeah, I think this is the way. So a lot of things that we have discussed about the challenges with the social science students, how to convince them, because normally social science students have their own mindset, etc., which is harder to convince, and because they have a lot more questions compared to the pure science, so to speak, right? So a lot of discussion, interesting discussion. And what else? Yeah, another thing that I think is interesting throughout the journey today is